what's up guys, Benny here, and welcome to the top 10 best loadouts for Call of Duty Warzone Season 3. There has been a whole ton of changes to the game's meta, especially sniper rifles, which you're not going to want to miss out on. And in this video, I'm just going to take you through the loadouts that you should be using at the start of Season 3 to get the most out of the changes, and make sure that you're in the best position to get all the kills and wins that you can. Let's get straight into the first loadout, and also, for those of you actually wondering why I'm in a completely different setup, I'm out here with Red Bull, been doing a whole ton of stuff with a load of Call of Duty creators, including JGod, Jukies, Huskers. It's been an absolute blast. Quickly check this out before the loadouts. So the first £5,000 wager is about to kick off, destroying Schmidt versus Jukies and Ahsoka. Let's get into it.
This guy's sniping, so be careful.
Strong start, stay alive, and rack up those kills. They have the slaying power, they have what they need, and I'm sure they're going to take it into their next wager. If you want to see more of that, make sure to go check out the description. It's been an incredible trip filled with so many awesome people. But the first loadout that you're going to want to be using in Season 3 is actually using the SDG, because you might have seen the SDG got some huge changes to make it viable with a much faster TTK than some of the competitors at those mid-ranges. So on the SDG, you're going to want to have the Mercury Silencer, because it had a bunch of the penalties removed, if you have a look, while still giving you that horizontal recoil control, which is always a lot harder to control than vertical, because, you know, it's like side-to-side wobble rather than just pulling back on the stick. So it's really, really good. We then got the VDD 760mm, which has got even higher bullet velocity now, so you're going to get those, be able to like track your opponents at those ranges, which is great. Like, I'm kind of happy the SDG is going to be a meta now, just because it's just one of the trademark assault rifles from that era. They got the G16 2.5 times optic, the VDD 27 precision stock, acrobatic because it doesn't have the best options, and vital really doesn't change anything to your bullets to kill. Fully loaded, so you got all the ammo. If you want a faster ADS speed version, you can stick on hand there as well. And it finally actually says increased aim down sight speed. They fixed it. That's pretty damn cool. But yeah, fully loaded is kind of my go-to on Caldera especially. Then you got the polymer grip, the 45 round mag, which is much better than it used to be. It's a lot easier to control and going to give you the fastest time to kill potential. And then the 50 round mag, which also received some changes, is going to be good at close range, so pretty good for Rebirth Island as well. Then lengthen for increased bullet velocity, and then the hand stop just for that little bit more recoil control. Next, pairing that with the Armaguerra, because yes, the Owen gun did receive a nerf quite heavily. It's still very good, but I feel like the Armaguerra, with the changes, the little damage mag change that it received, means that you can get a faster TTK, but the 9mm still, in my opinion, is better. But if you want like a huge mag, that 8mm curves and you could stack it for a fast bullet rate. But this is the build that I'm using. I've got the Mercury Silencer once again. I think this is going to be a lot more common. The 180mm short barrel, which has been buffed in this season. We've then got the Slate Reflector, the Immersio SA folding stock, sleight of hand, because once again, the perks aren't that great. You could maybe go for steady if you want a bit of faster strafe speed whilst you're shooting. But sleight of hand with the 42 round mag, which is what I use, just makes it super quick, especially on Rebirth Island. I use perk 2 quick, fabric grip, the 42 round mag, and then hollow point. Really, the damage range isn't going to make a huge difference to this with the hollow point rounds, but it does massively increase the shots to like this kind of upper body area, going to give you the faster time to kills. And you don't need subsonic because we're running the Mercury Silencer. And then the hand stop just to finish it up. If you want to, you could go for the Mark 6 Skeletal, but that is the Armaguerra setup that I've been using, and it shreds. Very, very, very good. That's the first loadout. I'll go into perks and stuff at the end of the video because there has been some perk changes in Season 3. The second setup I've got is my first sniper SMG combo with the new sniper changes. This MP40 after the Owen gun setup it's up there. It's got the fastest time to kills, incredibly mobile. And in previous seasons we've had those nerfs to the Welgun, which kind of dropped it down the rankings a little bit. And I think the MP40 is now just starting to creep back in there with this particular build. The recoil booster, the short short barrel, the Crossing ISO 2M optic, remove stock, steady, quick, stipple grip tape, the 45 round Gorenko mag, subsonic, which had all its penalties removed as well, so you can now run subsonic without getting any damage range negatives. So it's just going to keep you off the radar, means you don't have to run a suppressor and can keep that recoil booster for the faster time to kill. Then I've also got the hand stop just for that recoil control. I love this. But we have a huge change with the snipers, and I think this is the perfect time to change, because like, we all now know Kar 98K, the Swiss, are not going to be able to just one-shot kill everyone across the map, which kind of makes them a little bit less viable than they have been, because they've been some of the most used guns since Warzone was first released. And now the Pellington is going to be the aggressive sniper. It has got the longest range for that one-shot headshot potential. So if you're playing Rebirth Island and want to be using an aggressive sniper, the Pellington is probably the one that you're going to want to go for. With the sound moderator, the 27.2-inch combat recon, the SWAT 5MW laser, the 7-round mag, and then the Serpent wrap. You can, of course, get rid of the 7-round and run a bruiser grip for increased aiming stability and movement speed. That's all up to you, but like you can mix it up. Depends on like your personal play style, but both work really, really well. The aggressive snipers have just changed massively, and the Pellington has a 70-meter range, so that's quite a pretty good distance to get that one-shot kill, while something like the Kar 98s are like 40 to 50 meters, which is nothing at all. So you're still going to be able to take those people down at the far end of prison with the Pellington. And we'll get onto the long-range snipers later in the loadout video as well. But let's move on to our next loadout, which is pretty standard. This has not been touched since the last season. You've got the Automaton, one of the most reliable Vanguard assault rifles. You see players like Jukies use it in tournaments and perform exceptionally well still. It's got high fire rate, large mag size, so you can just pick up multiple players, especially in quads, or if you're like solo trioing, solo like up against multiple opponents at the same time. This can get you out of a tricky spot. Mercury silencer, 600mm BFA barrel, the G16 2.5 times optic, Anastasia padded, tight grip, fully loaded, the polymer grip, the 75 round drum mag, lengthened, and the hand stop. It's going to shred, it's going to do well for you. And I'd still probably use this in Caldera, to be perfectly honest with you. Then we've got the Welgun with the recoil booster, the shrouded barrel, slate reflector, the Gawain skeletal stock, gun ho, which is one of the most overpowered perks in the game because it just completely removes that sprint to fire speed, so it kind of gives you a much faster real-time TTK when you're running around buildings and like getting the jump on people. Very, very overpowered. Like SMGs of this traditionally have a big advantage. They've got quick, leather grip, the 40-round Gorenko mag, subsonic to stay off radar, and then the Mark 6 skeletal underbarrel there for the faster ADS speed. Really enjoy using this loadout. I think we've used it for a couple seasons now, and it's nice to see that it's still viable in Season 3. Now, the XM4 did receive a nerf, but it was very, very minor. It just had its minimum damage reduced from 27 to 26. Still makes it a 10-bullet kill minimum. It's just some small discrepancies where if your like aims all over the place, you're not going to get. Sometimes it might take you one extra bullet to kill them, but I personally think that's totally fine. It's still probably the meta assault rifle for Caldera right now. It's like I was watching a wager match versus like Jukies and Huskers last night, and so many people run the XM4. It is insane, and it's just a fun gun to use, to be perfectly honest with you. Agency, 13.5-inch task force, field agent grip, the Stagnant 60-round mag, and the actual arms 3 times. 60 is going to help you massively, especially in quads. If you're playing like duos or solos, go for the 45 round for that faster ADS, but the 60 is what you should be running in trios and quads. And then I paired that with the JAK-12, and I'm sorry about this, but this thing is just broken. It's just one of those guns that if you run into it in a building, it's so easy to use, especially on Rebirth Island. Probably one of the most broken guns on Rebirth. My streamer always like, please don't include it in videos, but I have to. It's one of the best guns. Maybe a shotgun nerf will come around the corner, but we'll have to wait and see. Very easy to use, very fast time to kill, especially against multiple opponents. Next, we'll move on to the Cold War AK-47. I think this is sliding itself back in once again after the nerf to the XM4. It's brought it even closer together. I know some people prefer this before. Now it's like kind of neck and neck with the XM4, to be honest. Just doesn't have that high rate of fire, so you can get punished if you miss those shots. Suppressor for the faster ADS speed, the 20-inch Spetsnaz RPK barrel, Spetsnaz grip, 45-round mag, and then the axial arms 3 times. Just remember, if you're on Caldera, go for the Grau suppressor instead for that damage range. But, you know, traditional Cold War AK, I love it. It's a great weapon. Then I've got that with the OTS 9, which is Grau suppressor, 8.1-inch task force, the VDV 40-round fast mag, Serpent wrap, and then the KGB skeletal stock as well to wrap it up. And that's that loadout. Next, the Owen gun is still viable. It's a great kind of mid-range gun for like sniper support. So even though it's been nerfed, it's not completely out of the equation. There might be some better options, but as an SMG, it's still very much in the game. I got the recoil booster, shrouded barrel, Nida model 47. You can run the slate reflector, of course. Remove stock, fleet, quick, stipple grip, 72-round drum, subsonic so you stay off radar, especially with those penalties being removed, and the Mark 6 skeletal underbarrel. And then we got the ZRG. This is going to be the long-range sniper. It's got one-shot headshot any range. It's actually got pretty much hit scan and a very fast ADS with this build. The only pain is the reload at times, but the sound moderator, 43.9-inch combat recon, SWAT 5MW laser sight, Serpent wrap, and the 5-round mag. I think this is what we'll probably start seeing people run on Caldera, to be honest. Like, it could get used to Rebirth, but, you know, the Pellington probably has the edge there. But, you know, if you want to use a long-range sniper, ZRG is what I'd recommend for you to use after the big sniper changes. Then our next setup that we've got is the Grau. I thought I'd include a Modern Warfare assault rifle. For me, the Grau is the best right now. Monolithic, Tempest, TAC laser, Commander full grip, 50-round mag. So fun to use, especially on Rebirth Island. And then pair that with that MP40 that we saw earlier. Now, let's get on to a couple fun classes. We've got the Volk. This is actually, or the Volkssturmgewehr, I think it is, like properly. But this actually received some change. I was before the update. I was like, this has become the gun in multiplayer. And I was like, oh my god, they've buffed it. How have they buffed this already? And I think this is just going to be everywhere. I've left this because, you know, for the dedicated ones who want the best loadouts, this gun right here is up there. Like, it will blow your mind, especially on Rebirth, but even so much more on Caldera now. But Mercury Silencer, VDD 287mm, had a huge buff to it. Slate Reflector, the Krosnik S12V PS stock. Gun Ho, as I said, overpowered perk, and it's on an assault rifle. Mental. On hand for the faster ADS speed, polymer grip, the 40-round mag, lengthened, and the Mark 6 skeletal. It's got such a high bullet velocity now that it just makes it really easy to use. Very fast time to kill, and like a lot less recoil than it had visual and actual, especially on the vertical side. So give this a go. You will not be disappointed. And then I paired that with the Pellington that we saw earlier. Just to, you know, have the aggressive sniper play. Going to be rocking this on Rebirth for sure. And then our next setup, we've got the new assault rifle. Obviously, haven't had time to rack this up yet, but I've kind of got the tier 100 version of it. I think I'll have an updated setup for this gun later in the week for you to check out. So subscribe if you haven't already. But from like first impressions, it's gonna be up there. Diamatti as well. Broken pistol, been removed as a starting pistol out of Rebirth. Thank you. But if you still want to use it in your loadouts, this is what you want. Agency, 7.2-inch task force, Microflex LED. You can get rid of that, of course, and then add the SOF target designator, 30-round mag, Serpent wrap, beast of a pistol. And then the final class, it's kind of my ghost class. I'll use this with whatever assault rifle I'm using, so I can get ghost when I'm playing Caldera, which hasn't been that much recently, to be honest with you. But I'm definitely coming back with Season 3. Mercury Silencer, 760mm, G16, pretty much the same class that we saw earlier. But those are the top 10 loadouts. Perks are pretty much the same. Double time, ghost, amped. Also, like my quick fix, overkill, amped is kind of standard. And then if I've got like a ghost class, like here, if I've got 2 primaries, I always rock amped. But those are loadouts that I'd recommend using. That's what I'm going to be rocking in Season 3. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you next time. Enjoy the season. Thanks for watching.